everybody, it's Chandra Faith with Reading Rainbow's Divination, and we got to pick a card for you guys today, which is this a twin flame connection? So we have a pile number 1, Aventurine, pile number 2, Peacock Ore, and pile number 3, Citrine. So go ahead, make your choice, and I'll meet you at your pile. Hello, pile 1. Who chose the green aventurine? And here is your reading for Is This a Twin Flame Connection? So today we're using the Erotic Fantasy Tarot for the main reading for each of our piles today. So let's see, is this pile 1's twin flame? Is this pile 1's twin flame? Is this pile 1's twin flame? Is this pile 1's? Oh! 2 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles. Wow, this is a slow moving situation. We got the Hierophant. Nope. The King of Cups. And ooh, the High Priestess. Wow, so this is definitely a twin flame connection. And it looks like you guys are at that everything's going on beneath the surface. So we have 3 Pentacle cards, and for your main bottom of the deck energy is the Page of Pentacles. And you've got the 2 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, oh my God, and the 4 of Pentacles, 2, 3, 4. So the slow progression. Pentacles to me are the slowest suit, and it reminds me of just a slow working machine, and these pentacles are those cogs, those wheels in the mechanism. But below that energy, within that slow moving process, you have all this like very deep spiritual connection within each other, within the connection. So we have the Hierophant, the King of Cups, and the High Priestess. So just seeing these cards all together below the surface of your physical reality tells me that there is this deep spiritual connection going on, and that you two are the High Priestess and the Hierophant, who are feminine and masculine aspects of holding that esoteric truth, that divine knowledge that you have. But right now, you guys are in this working in the 3D kind of mode, and there is just, what I'm seeing is kind of working, and I get that Bright Eyes line, I'd rather be working for a paycheck than waiting on winning the lottery. and it's still waiting. There's still this slow process, but in this process, you both are working on slowly gaining your achievements, and that could just literally mean money as well, and working towards your careers and your passions as you slowly move towards your goals in life. But right now it just seems like it is a connection, a twin flame connection, but it is covered up. It is still hidden, and it's still in this growing process. But what's underneath that soil is such deep, amazing people, divine people within you, the divine masculine and feminine coming within you. And it seems like you are the male counterpart is the one who's holding more of the emotions here, the more masculine. It doesn't matter what gender you actually are, but whoever the masculine counterpart in this relationship, he is holding the cup. He is holding on to it, and he's not yet ready to present the cup, because I don't think he's aware. He's still working, which is clarified by the Three of Pentacles. That if you see this guy, they're getting honey. This guy has climbed up. They're getting the honey, and these people are two pregnant women who are, I feel like they're watching out for him while he works, and it's kind of this team effort, these Three Pentacles. And it's just talking about how it doesn't take one person to get a task done. It takes multiple persons, situations, elements to really create and go towards your goals, especially your monetary goals. But everything's under the surface right now. It definitely is a connection, but it is really, it's what I see is it's still under the soil. It's still, you both need to be making that money. You got to be pushing out your careers or your studies or whatever you're having to do right now, so that you can feel more secure and unveiling what you have on the inside, which I think both of you may not really recognize, that you guys have deep spiritual paths and spiritual divinity within you, and that's going to come out, but it's going to take some time. And with the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck energy, I wanted to read what the Erotic Fantasy Tarot says about the page, or in this deck it's called the Knave. Curiosity and interest, the wandering warrior, the love for what is new and unknown keeps your desire alive. Gain greater understanding, put your talents at the service of curiosity. So yeah, I think you guys are slowly going to be, what I'm seeing is like reverse digging, so which is basically growing. The suit of pentacles of coin is earth, is the earth element. So I just see you guys covered in soil. Your connection, your twin flame connection, is a beautiful little seed that's deep in the soil, kind of like how it is right now. This is a timeless reading, but it's fall right now, so it's kind of like the seeds have fallen into that cold, dark soil, and it's just going to be in hibernation through the winter until the spring. And yeah, that's kind of where you guys are at, but you have so much spiritual potential underneath that soil, ready to grow in the next year, and seeing where that goes. So now let's get some guidance from the Divine Feminine Oracle. Okay. Whew. All right, spirits. What advice do you have for this connection right now? What advice do you have for this connection? What advice do you have for this connection? What feminine, divine will come and guide this connection? What is our divine feminine that is guiding this connection? Whoop. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. All right. Here we go. Sarah La Kali, Queen of the Outsiders. I have arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. Let me show it to you guys. There we go. So let me read about her. She is one of my favorite cards in this deck, and it has a wonderful story. 210. Okay. Sarah La Kali, Queen of the Outsiders. I have arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. Sarah La Kali is the symbol of the love that endures, the love that never dies. There are three main legends that surround Saint Sarah. First, she is known as a charitable noblewoman who collected alms for the poor in Saints Maries de la Mer in the south of France at the beginning of the 1st century. She had a vision that the female saints who were present at Jesus' death would arrive on their shores, and when they did, around the year 42, Saint Sarah was the first to lovingly welcome them with open arms. The Golden Legend from the 13th century says that Saint Sarah arrived with the three Marys, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and Mary of Bethany, as one of their slaves. She was said to be an Egyptian, very beautiful and endowed with healing powers. The third legend is that Saint Sarah is the daughter of Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ. During the persecution of the early Christians, it is believed that Mary Magdalene fled with young Sarah, Jesus' mother, and Mary of Bethany to the south of France. There she raised Sarah and continued her ministry of love, of becoming what Christ referred to as true human beings, meaning both fully human and fully divine. Saint Sarah is known as the Queen of the Outsiders. She is the beloved patron saint of the Romani people. She is carried from her crypt in the cathedral to the sea on horseback every May 24th by thousands of Romani who gather annually to celebrate her. There's an ancient chest in St. Sarah's Cathedral that contains the relics of the three Marys. St. Sarah represents the spiritual tenets of the Cameru, cross, faith, and hope, but above all, love. When your soul selects her card, no matter who you are or where you are, St. Sarah's love is the kind that reaches you. There's nothing you need to perfect or prove. There's nothing you need to wait to become. There's only the deep, abiding truth that love is not outside of you. You are never an outsider to love. You are love. Saint Sarah is the ultimate love card, the one that whispers what you've always known, that love is our true purpose and our only true home. Love is where we will all arrive, no matter how persecuted, how lonely, how outcast we might feel, no matter how long it has been since we felt loved. Saint Sarah is the healing that comes when we embody love again. She is here to welcome us back to the singular destination we actually never left. Home is only ever as far as we allow ourselves to be, separate from the space of our own heart. Soul Voice Meditation. Enter the heart. Ask to experience love, true love, and let it fill you head to soul. Intention. I have arrived. I am where I will always be. In love. So I wanted to talk about this part where it says, she raised Sarah and continued her ministry of love, becoming what Christ referred to as true human beings, meaning fully human and fully divine. And I see that here where you guys are here. You are the High Priestess and the Hierophant, and you have, both of you have this incredible power, but it's still hidden because you guys are working. You're working towards these goals, these aspirations, and your 3D world. And that maybe some of you are gonna be surprised that you have such a deep spiritual connection with each other and with the divine in general. And that maybe you have been focusing on a lot of logical things of what's happening here in the 3D and not really paying attention to your dreams and just really focusing on working and, you know, getting your normal life together. And this connection is underneath, but you've recognized that something has opened your heart to spirituality if it's never done that before, or you're more into your gifts, into your divine gifts that you didn't recognize, or you're even just clicking on these videos and you're like, I would never get a tarot reading, but something has called me here. And it's because you are so deeply connected to spirituality and the divine. It's really great. There's really something in there, like a well, a spring inside. And the Queen of the Outsiders is telling you that your beliefs of the esoteric, of the occult, of spiritual religious things might brand you as an outsider, or you might brand yourself as an outsider if you start believing in this and being like, oh, this is just hippy dippy things, and this connection is, you know, this is just, I'm just feeling this weird crush, or, you know, these dreams I'm having will just go away. But they won't. You guys are deeply rooted in this connection, whether you know it or not. It is in there, and it is ready to sprout. I said that your relationship is a seed, and it's not just like a little bean plant. It's going to be like an oak tree. That is what the seed is for you. Or I just see, a big tree, and but right now it's just planted. The seed was just planted in there. So finally, since we're talking about bearing nuts, seeds in the fall, let's get some Halloween oracles to wrap up our card portion of this. Spirit, what Halloween oracle do you have for this connection? What advice do you have for this connection? And we got Lady de los Muertos, acceptance and equality. So yeah, I'm still getting that. And the acceptance calls more for yourself, to accept that you have these curiosities and you have this draw towards divination, towards spiritual things, asking questions about where did we come from, where are we going, where do I have past lives, what is my higher self like? All these questions can be answered, but first you have to accept that you are going down that path, that you are curious, and that you treat yourself with that equality and not shun yourself from things like death and rebirth and spirituality. So let me read about Miss Lady de los Muertos. But I'm also seeing that she's coming up because, your relationship is literally buried right now. And that's the only way it's going to grow, is in this darkness where you both figure out what spirituality means to you. What does life outside of our life mean? Are we meeting in different dimensions? What tools can help me? Can astrology, tarot, talking to a psychic, help me figure this out, this thing that's buried and I don't know what it is yet. And I think that would help you if you are guided to that. If your heart is telling you to do that, it will guide you to the best possible place. So, oh, I love it. I just opened to that. Okay, Lady de los Muertos, acceptance and equality. Pale, you step out of the night in red lace, full flowers upon your crown. You bring the beauty to death, the equality and joy of the underground. The iconic Lady of Death, with a pale, skull-like face, zombie eyes, and rich red funeral flowers in her hair, has become one of the most recognizable symbols of Halloween and the Mexican Day of the Dead, El Dia de los Muertos. The original model for this flamboyant Lady of Death can be traced back to the ancient Aztec gods of Mictecutl. Excuse me, you have to figure out what that place is. As time went on, the figure remained balanced between beauty and horror and morphed into the Lady of the Dead and eventually into the more modern graphic figure of Katrina. It is also reported that the identity of the original Katrina was based on women who were very rich and had everything they wanted in this life. True, and you guys, I feel like you are there. That's where you're focusing on right now, is the coin. You're all about the coin right now, people. You are all about setting up your foundations for the future. And as you move on to that, as you move on to being more financially, materially secure, you are gonna emerge as this lady who is fluid in life and death, spirituality and reality. It was based on women who were very rich and had everything they wanted in this life, yet death takes everyone equally. So it was a reminder that no matter how beautiful, rich, popular, famous you were, in the end, death takes all. The Mexican culture has a long-standing history of laughing at death and seeing it as just another aspect of life. In some ways, death is that last taboo in many Western cultures. We tend to hide away or are dying, and some of us may never even see the body of someone who's passed our whole lives. But this was a much more common occurrence in the past. Acknowledging that death is a natural process that will enter everyone's life is at some point, sometime in that, perhaps until then, we can choose to be life-affirming. Takes away much of the fear. Take a light approach to a situation initially, and it may work out better. If you're holding on to something that does not serve you any longer, in particular material things, simplify and let it go, let it go. So this is totally going with that idea that you guys are buried, and there are rituals where shamans bury themselves to experience death. And in a way, this could also literally mean that someone in your life passed, and it kind of awoken you to that spirituality, that, hey, there's more to this world than the living or what we tangibly see. There's something that kind of woke you up, and that's why you're here asking if this is a twin flame connection, because even just uncovering the concept of a twin flame is not something everyone goes through, or it's not a normal thing. But that's why you're the queen of the outsiders, and you can find that. It's just buried in with you. You are both the queen of the outsiders and Lady de los Muertos. You are that, and you are not just your job. That's what I'm getting from. So, yeah, it's gonna take some time to wait on and nurture that seed, and you can nurture it by, going towards what you're curious about. Read more about things that are calling to you. So I'm gonna get some divination blocks to see who is this person, or where is this connection going. So we've got a Y, an L, an M, and a tree. Told ya you guys are a tree. Your seed is not just a seed. I guess it's a nut. So, whoa, the L turned over and is a 7. 7's a very lucky number for me. Let's get a little more. Let's get some stamps. See what I'm more flowers come out. All right. Oh, I didn't know this was in here. It's a house, a little house without a roof, but it's a house, and that kind of reminds me of what I was saying about how you guys are building a foundation right now. And it's you both are, I can see you're in separation and both building your foundation, still starting out. You're still fresh. You're still the knave, the page, which is the youngest of the royalty group. So you are just there making your coin, making that coin. So we have a G, we have a T, and we have an S, and we have a J. Jumpin', jumpin'. So that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you for coming by and seeking out a reading from Reading Rainbows. All right, have a nice day. Hey everybody, pile 2. Who chose the peacock ore? There you go. I wish you could see more of the colors in there, but I really like this stone, and if you're more interested, research peacock ore and its properties. Since you were drawn to it, but I just like a stone that's named after a peacock because I do like peacocks. So the question here today in this pick card is this a twin flame connection? 3 of Wands. Oh my gosh. Knight of Cups. The Wheel of Fortune. King of Wands. Ooh, fiery. Page of, I'm sorry, Knight. Knight of Pentacles. And, woo! The High Priestess. Oh my gosh. What was I saying? Yeah, so you've got the High Priestess and the King of Wands, which is really cool. And just because you got the Wheel of Fortune and these two kind of higher power beings, I can totally see this as a twin flame connection. And that he is kind of waiting there. You guys are both in this stage where you are recognizing, you both seem to recognize, both of you seem to recognize the connection and kind of just know, hey, there's something going on here that there, in that Beauty and the Beast, there must be something there that wasn't there before. I actually have the Bell book right here, and I feel like you two are just quite knowledgeable on figuring things out in this connection, that you guys have both dabbled in or kind of researched twin flames and are both kind of curious, but you guys are both, what it seems like, you both have been understanding kind of the ways of elements. You could be both working in witchcraft or just in tune with nature and how that affects you spiritually. And here, this is very interesting because we have a knight clarified by a knight. So the Knight of Cups is offering love and kind of bringing the message that, hey, I like you. While the Knight of Pentacles is like, wait, before you say anything, let's wait. Let's slow this down a little bit. Let's figure out, before we confess our love to each other, can we please think of the consequences first? And Pentacles is earth energy and Cups is water energy. So this is the emotion about how both of you want to come forward and just confess each other's love, confess the love for each other, but there's things in the way. There's things that you both consider, and it seems like you haven't told each other how you feel, and that it's because there's either one of or both of you have someone else who you're dating or married to, that it'd be really awkward to bring it up. Then it could mean that you both are afraid of the consequences of saying this big truth could mean. So it's just, and what I see in here is these two people are they're not looking at each other. She's looking ahead and he's looking to the west, which is also the future, the like westward ho. That's what I see, is just he's looking to the future, but their futures are in different directions. And I feel like they were going on these two different directions for a while and were fine, and then some kind of like these little stars or fireflies in the sky, something got both of their attention. Like kind of seeing like what I'm seeing is like they both saw a UFO in the sky and they didn't believe in UFOs, and at the same time they were both at the same place at the same time looking at the same UFO and being like, what, did you see that? And like but before that their lives were totally disconnected. I'm getting that like Mulder and Scully vibe too. Like they totally different like parts of the FBI, but somehow something connected them and then they became partners. So you guys both recognize this connection and you both see where it's going, but it's not time for you to stop everything and run away, because that would just kind of make everything crumble, especially with the Wheel of Fortune clarified by the High Priestess, which I believe this is the divine feminine or the feminine counterpart in this connection. And she's just like, she has this big scroll or sometimes depicted with like knowledge, with a book, and of just holding that knowledge and being like, hold on, I know we're in this mode because we both saw that UFO. So that's a new romantic comedy. We saw a UFO and now we believe. That's what I'm getting, is a trailer. Your film, that's what your film is called. And you guys totally want to jump in, and like just go at it and fully live your passions. But the feminine is saying, hey, hold on. You're on a wheel. You are on a wheel. You're going to fall off if you just go at it. You guys are both going to just fall off or like explode. And so slow it down. Bring it back down to earth, because there's a lot of pieces going on in this situation and you don't want to ruin possibilities of union because you rushed everything, and that could scare one or both of you as well is rushing into it and being like, whoa, I was totally on a different path than you. So this is just out of left field. And then, bottom of the deck energy is, Empress. This is a strong, if you're the divine feminine counterpart, you are a strong lady. That is why you are on a totally different path than your twin flame, because you're like that, all the women independent. Yeah, you were like, you made yourself. It's not like you're not one of those girls who are gonna be like pining away and waiting for your twin flame and like on blogs for hours being like, why does my twin flame blah 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 like me, or why is he running? You don't care about that. You are just, we saw the same UFO, but he's a banker and I'm a stripper. and he has a wife and I like being single, and it's just like, but there's something that keeps bringing you together. This coin is bringing you together. This feeling that you guys can make a physical thing. Like a coin baby. You can even though you guys are from totally different realms, it's like you can make a coin baby. You can make things work in reality. But not right now. Not just right now. I forgot to talk about this card. The Three of Wands clarified by the King of Wands. So this is where he's at, where the masculine counterpart is at, is that he is kind of scared that he found out about this connection, and that he's looking up looking up twin flames. So he's like, this is weird. You feel the same way too, or the divine feminine feels the same way as well. But it's just like, wow, I have choices here, but I'm kind of already have one foot almost off the cliff. But I'm looking at what I still have in my life, that I don't want to lose these two other sticks either. I don't want to say break up my marriage. I don't want to leave my family just yet. I want to figure this out. Keep one hand on the ground and make this work to the best possible outcome, which is awesome. That is how you should feel. Like if you were the Knight of Wands, you would just rush in like that. But this is his dad. So he's dad energy. But dad, possible dad energy. And he's just like, slow it down. And he could be an earth sign too, and really have that, like, I am not a flighty guy. I know how to like be a good dad and not hurt people, and I don't want to hurt people. I want to be able to have everything I want, but without hurting people is his ultimate goal. And that's a good goal. So yeah, don't try to rush into it, but you guys are both eyeing each other. So let's get some animal medicine cards. Ding. And see what kind of animal messages we have for this connection. Okay. Weasel reversed, beaver reversed. Okay. So you're in a reversal energy, which was obvious because you both are still on your two different paths. You just had this one connection, this one UFO sighting together, and now you guys are trying to figure out what you are going to do. So, and look, this is another indication you guys are twin flames, even though these are reversed. Look at these twin numbers, 33, 22. OMG, you guys. OMG, meant to be. Okay. Weasel 33. All right. When these are reversed, they're called contrary in this book. So this is the contrary meaning to weasel. Is contrary weasel in your cards? If so, look out for intrigue. Someone may be using covert tactics to weasel into the henhouse. Perhaps you should lock your doors and dress your teenager like a nun. Or perhaps you may be lying to yourself about something you know to be true. This can be a lie on any level. For instance, storming the refrigerator at 3 a.m. and telling yourself no one will miss the half-eaten portion of the pie. If you scratch someone else's automobile in a parking lot, leave a note. Don't slink away just because you can. Honesty to self and others is of the utmost importance. Another message of reversed weasel is to acknowledge why you have been doubting your feelings. Weasel upright observes all actions, feelings, and situations with keen senses. In the contrary, those abilities of observation are dulled until confusion sets in. When you don't know how you feel or what is occurring around you, doubt becomes the barrier to your progress. Then you may find a bit of paranoia seeping into your life. If you want to right the situation, start by shaking the dullness out of your head and observing the obvious. No one can fool you if you watch your step. Honor your knowing, seek the hidden reasons, and use discretion. Oh my gosh, I was like, I know that word. Use discretion in the process. So this is where you are at. You are freaked out by this connection. We're on your single lady, independent woman path, and this thing happened, this UFO sighting, and you were just like, oh my gosh, this isn't real. Like it seems like you were trying to repress it or blow it off, and this person seemed to be doing the same thing because they already had a settled life as well. It's just your life done flipped, turned upside down because of this connection. And that's really beautiful and scary at the same time. So just acknowledge it. Just take a deep breath and acknowledge that this is happening, and it makes you feel good. It makes you feel happy. You wouldn't have a hard time not thinking about this connection if it wasn't for your highest benefit. I mean, if it was just lust, I feel like you wouldn't be this concerned. You wouldn't be looking at these pick-a-card videos because it's real. It's a real thing. It's not a tangible thing. It's not like if you're in a karmic relationship, like a relationship with another person and not this person, that it's confusing you right now because you're like, well, I have this person who's a tangible thing, but now this new person is on my mind more than the person I see every day. And it's very confusing. You're like, my whole life was already planned out. I already figured everything out. I thought this was my life, and he's going through that too. The other person is going through that too. So let's see Beaver reversed. Contrary. If Beaver has dunked its head underwater and is contrary, you are being asked to open new doors to opportunity and to stay aware. This could also usher in a time of laziness or apathy. Find what is damming the flow and remove the impasse. The questions that may arise when Beaver is contrary are, have I forgotten to allow room in my life for new experiences? Am I willing to work with others? Am I resentful of having to work? Do I express my creativity by doing or just by dreaming about it? Has my mind created so many obstacles to productivity that I feel like a failure before I begin? Meditate upon Beaver's determination and willingness to work. Visualize the goal you wish to accomplish and be willing to work with others to achieve that end. Have I forgotten to allow room in my life for new experiences? That's what, yeah, you're so set and you've worked hard for where you've gone to, and so has your counterpart. And that's the difficult part, is that fear that if you acknowledge this connection, everything that you worked for will come crashing down just for you two to be together, like one of those tragic romances, but you both have worked so hard on each of your own paths for all these years until now when you're adults, and there's no way that something can just blow it up in a moment. It's not possible. You guys are both so level-headed that you created such a solid foundation, and the reason why you're so afraid of this is because it isn't something you experienced, and you are level-headed. So when something comes out of nowhere and suddenly changes your perspective on life, that's frightening, and it's scary. So this is why you guys are reversed, or not exactly moving forward in this relationship or confessing your feelings to each other, because you guys have been on your own path, and you're just right now, I just have this imagery of just like coming out of a car crash and just being like, whoa, my life is different now. Like nobody around me changed. It was just me and this experience I had. And I can see it's kind of like you two both got into a car crash together, or experience like Lost, where you're in a plane crash together and you're like, whoa, our paths were so different, but now we have to work together. So let's take, what was my last thing I was gonna do some archetypes for your connection. And okay, what archetype advice do we have for this connection, Spirit? Woo! All right, the offering. Ooh, it goes with our Knight of Cups. So maybe there still is, I mean, you guys, I can feel it in my sacral chakra. If you guys, I think that's the chakra you guys should look into as well, which gets you in touch with those inner deep feelings. But let's read about the I want to say the author. You guys could also be authors. The offering. Okay. The offering. The gift, the present, the sacrifice. Unlike many of the other cards in the deck, the offering carries a clear as day message and a call to action. As you may have guessed, it is time for something to be given and given up for the sake of the bigger picture. If nothing comes to mind immediately, though it's likely it will, take time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. It's likely you'll feel attachment and hesitancy. You'll make excuses, but recognize the link between the word sacrifice and the word sacred. One leads to the other. When we offer up something to the greater good, we lighten our load and become more able to serve. Imagine for a moment if you were to offer your whole self unconditionally to the world. For now, start small. When light, generosity, donation, volunteering. When dark, giving with expectations, keeping track. Go deeper, Odin's sacrifice of his eye in Norse mythology. If there is a gift you've been thinking of giving someone special, now is the time. Once a week, Gandhi gave up speaking for a day, offering himself to divine silence. The offering can come in all shapes and sizes. So, pile 2, it does seem that you are understanding that to be together will take some sort of sacrifice. If it's not somebody or a relationship, it's, your way of being. Like if you guys are both single and you come together, that's totally going to change your life. If you're going to bring your two paths together and they're totally different, it's going to take compromise and sacrifice to be together. And you guys totally see that. It's just that I don't want you guys to be afraid of that. Don't be afraid that, because sacrifice is such a scary word. And my dad would always say it to me as a kid about like how my parents sacrificed so much for me. And that gave me so much guilt, and I felt like, how am I even supposed to repay someone for a sacrifice? And the thing I learned is that the way you return that sacrifice is just to be grateful that that person did that to you, that that person was in your life, and that as you guys go forward in this connection, that even though you guys, your paths are getting closer and closer, and there's going to be a moment when you're going to have to readjust both of your lives if you truly want to be together and be in union with your twin flame. So let's get some divination blocks for you guys. Oh, that popped out too. 2 snails. Oh my gosh. This is, oh wow. These like twin, real, this is a real twin connection, but look at that. Twin snails, 88. 8 is the infinity sign, or you guys could both have 8s in your birth dates, or even be born in 88. That would be like, you'd be like super twins, both born in like 88. That would be cool. That is your UFO spotting moment. But yes, the snail, slow, take it slow, real slow. Then we got a 5. That's significant to you. We have an M, and this kitty popped out for me, so cats might be important to you guys too. And W, but look, it's like a reflection again, because of WM. So yeah, it's a real strong connection right now, and I think it's truly strong right now because you both acknowledge the moment, and you're both equally scared. And in twin flame connections, a big sign is the mirroring of emotions, of events in your life, and it seems like you're exactly mirroring each other emotionally. And I just love that, like, we both saw the same UFO feeling. It's just, I feel it's exciting, and it's like taking your beliefs for a spin, like, whoa, I didn't believe aliens existed. Me too. Whoa, I also am really attracted to you. That's kind of what I'm getting. So let's get a little more clarification. Ooh, it's a lot of letters there. So maybe it's a message. We got Q, O, Y, H. Wait, is that H? Oh, it's a W or an M. You got that WM thing happening. Some of these letters, I'm like, what is this? I think this is a J, but I'm not sure. It's kind of dark. But it also looks like a 2, but I think, wait, a J. No, a J goes the other way. It's a T. It's a T. Whatever. 2, TJ, 2, if that resonates with you. What else do we have? I, and B. All right. So that's all I have for you guys today. Have a nice time. If it's day or night, night or day. Thank you, Pile 2. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. You picked the citrine. And today for our main reading, we're going to use the Erotic Fantasy Tarot. And the question for this pick a card is this a twin flame connection? Is this a twin flame connection? Whoa. Is this a twin flame connection? Ooh. I feel like I need to clear the energies. energies. Pile 3. The last load of the last 2 piles. So we have the Chariot. I love the Chariot card in this one, which is 2 people making love on a nice 4-post bed. And 9 of Wands. Ooh. King of Wands. Ooh, lots of fire. And these 4 bedposts remind me of the 4 of Wands coming into union in bed. All right, let's clarify that Chariot card, please, Spirit. Let's, ooh. The Hermit. Clarify the Knight of Wands. The Knight of, oh my gosh, she's a sneaky lady in there too. Justice. So look at that. The King is clarified by the Queen, and you have the King of Cups. So what I'm feeling is, yes, this is a twin flame connection. And it was funny because I was like, well, how about if all 3 of the decks were a yes, then is that bad? But I'm thinking, you know what? The fact that you clicked on this video to ask this question and you picked one of these piles and they're all yeses. So I think this is just welcoming you into the twin flame community, everyone who picked this video. So yay, if you picked any of these, this is pile number 3 gets all the secrets. So I've gone through everybody, but yeah, everyone who picked this video is in a twin flame connection. Hooray, guys. Good for you. Good for you for my first pick a card video. Okay, so let's get back to you guys. So I love how this is the King of Wands clarified by Justice. And Justice really looks like the Queen of Swords in this deck. And pile 1, apologies. I don't know whoever watches all 3 videos, but pile 1, I mistook the Queen of Swords for the High Priestess. And then the next pile 2 got the High Priestess. So that's kind of what notified me. But then I thought I was also, but in the back of my head, I was just like, did I confuse it with Justice? Like, what? It wasn't the High Priestess. But then you guys got Justice. So I think there's some fierce feminines clicking on this video. And this is kind of what the divine masculine, the masculine counterpart in this connection is thinking about. And again, I want to reiterate that it doesn't have to be cisgender couples. You can both be in a same gender relationship and have a masculine and a feminine. And the masculine in this relationship is thinking about this woman, the feminine, the other counterpart, but it's still below the surface, and she kind of scares him. And if you are, it could possibly be, you could be like some really badass lawyer bitch, and this guy's kind of afraid of that personality, and he's used to being the king of his castle, but he knows that a woman with a sword can cut his staff down. That's what I'm getting. And your overall deck overall bottom of the deck energy is the King of Cups. So you got 2 kings. So it's really what's affecting this relationship is this yearning from the masculine counterpart, that there is, I feel like since this is the overall energy, that he did give an offering to you, or kind of alluded to like, hey, I like you maybe. And at the time it wasn't the right time to say something like that, and no one gets the best of you, and you probably get a lot of compliments from the opposite sex or the same sex, but I just from people in general who are attracted to you, and you're kind of used to it. But it kind of took you a little bit to realize, wait, out of all these people that are interested in me, this guy, this is the one, or this person is that person, and you guys are on your way to understanding that. There's some sort of like confusion, miscommunication that happened, but beneath that, you guys are like doing it in your minds, or not literally, but are like not literally in your minds, but you guys feel that, like, since he already came out and kind of told you, oh, and look who's under here, King of Pentacles. You got a lot of king energy, and maybe you just have a lot of male energy going towards you, and that's what scares him. And he might be a fire sign too. Is that why? And then these other guys are here, or like he's trying to be a king he's not, to impress you, or to get you to be like this physically. But right now it's a challenge to balance that, and for both of you to figure out your feelings. Well, I guess he's really sure of his feelings, and you're more like, I don't know. I'm not sure. And just because you have so much going on in your life, that it's kind of like this woman she's leading her way through these like forests of sticks, and the fireflies are guiding her. But Nine of Wands, I also think, is like a defense card. So it's like putting up your defenses so that no one gets too close to you, and that, you know, you've been through a lot. You've earned these 9 fence posts, and you can totally build your fence, but it's gonna block out the fence maker. Because I think you guys both have actually very similar personalities. You have a lot of pride, and you both have, like, you know, admirers. So it was hard for him to transfer from being this King of Wands to a King of Cups, who is actually offering him. He doesn't usually do that. So, and I can feel that he was a little hurt by that rejection, or that just, you know, it wasn't the right time, and maybe you didn't even reject them, you didn't really want to start anything right now, or like you needed to explore your own feelings, and he's waiting, but he knows that he's already said his piece. So now it's up to you to move this forward, and it may be hard because you're in this hermit mode. Like, you have this potential to be in a really passionate relationship right now, but what mode you're in right now is this: I'm on my own. I have a lot to think about, and that's really important in the twin flame journey. That separation is so that your energies can match each other, and that's kind of what you're doing. You've seen the light. You're like, whoa, it was this you? It was you. And so now you're dealing with it right now. And that's why you clicked on this video, because you're like, is this true? is this for real? And it's funny because this is you with your defenses up, but what's underneath you? Bang! The Knight of Swords. You really want, secretly, you really just want to run towards your counterpart and jump on them and just be free with how you are, but you are still, you might have, a reputation to uphold, and you can't be you can't use your sword. You've got to find a balance. I think that's what the Chariot is saying, since the Chariot in the regular tarot is someone who is driving a chariot, and that takes balance. And so you have to figure out how you're going to both use this sword, and sword is like your thoughts, your mannerisms, how you uphold yourself, and use your thoughts for your everyday life, or how it's made your reputation. And it scares you to maybe even just be in a relationship and be that, like, go towards your passions, because other times you've gone towards your passions, you've gotten your heart broken, or your fire has been extinguished in some way, and or if we're using the swords, you might have a lot of air in your sign, because swords are air, but like using that sword mentality to kind of be cold, and because you've been cut before, you've felt the cuts of swords, and you finally figure out how to wield your sword. So you're not just going to go rushing into battle right away. You're going to be building your defenses first. But look who's looking at you, building your fence. Your neighbor, your twin, is like, oh, well, at least I can see her from up here, and she can do her thing and build her house, build her walls, and I'll just be here with my giant, I secretly have a giant coin right here. I was gonna give that to her. I'm not the King of Pentacles, but I have it here. And I also got a cup of love for you, but here's the King of Pentacles. I mean, what I'm getting from all these kings is that he has a lot to offer, and that you're just realizing that right now. Or I mean, your counterpart has a lot to offer, and that, that's what you're seeing. You're like, wow, I do actually like you too. And it's like, it totally makes you feel like you're in middle school, and you're like, oh, I rejected him. I only rejected him because I liked him. And I'm like, oh, like I can't believe I'm going through this again. But that's what the twin flame connection is about, is feeling like teenagers again. So today we have the unicorn and for Enchanted Forest. I had this foresty vibe for you, group 3. So let's go into the unicorn oracle for this connection. Ooh. All right. What unicorn advice do you have for this connection? Thank you. Courage and awareness. So you got courage. You are safe. Fear is an illusion. Set strong boundaries. And I think you know how to set boundaries, since you are this Justice card, that you know the law, you know the rules of relationships and etiquettes and all that stuff in relationships. You've been through it. But I think what you need to set boundaries with is the way that you allow yourself to feel love. I think you've set too many boundaries on that, and that you need to open your heart a little bit more. And the only way to do that is to have courage and really accept this connection for what it is. And you don't need to go running into the person's arms right now, but just acknowledging your feelings, and then after you acknowledge how you truly feel, then start planning, taking those steps to living the fantasy that you have in this relationship, your true passion. Like, you really do want this. It's scary, but you want it, and you already know that he wants it. So everyone's just waiting on you. Awareness. Live in the moment. Be conscious of your thoughts and look for signs and guidance. Yes, you need some guidance. Whenever I feel like when very logical people are like confused and they're like, well, how am I supposed to know what I'm supposed to do? Because like I'm used to thinking logically and this doesn't make any sense. And it's like, okay, well, this is how it works. You look for clues like a Disney movie, you know, like a fairy tale. It's literally that easy. Like, if you're confused, if you truly like someone, your brain's not going to tell you. So ask for signs. Ask for like repeating numbers to pop up, or finding coins or feathers or some sort of sign, and just wait for it. And if it doesn't come, then that's your sign. And if it does, you're like, bingo, awareness. And I mean, I feel like you are aware. You just got aware because you're looking at this video. You're asking the question if this person's your twin flame, and you already know what a twin flame is, or you're interested in learning more about that. And it's about living in the moment and not worrying about what people think of you if you join in this union. Because as I was saying, your counterpart has a lot to offer, and I think you're just recognizing that just right now. So finally we have Forest of Enchantment, but I like to call it the Enchanted Forest Tarot. Whatever you like. Okay. So, Enchanted Forest. What do you have for group 3 for this connection? Whoa! Boom! Whoa, did you guys hear that? That was so scary. I was like, first of all, if you want as I was just talking about signs, jeez. See, I was talking about this earlier in my other video about animal magic, and if I don't even know what kind of bird that is. Okay, it stopped. Oh, well. Let's see. Okay, I can't see what bird is doing that, but I would say, like, so this is one way to look at signs, is like, you heard that bird right when we were asking spirit about your connection, and you would see what kind of bird that is and then look up that bird's spiritual meaning. So I don't know what kind of bird that is, and right in the beginning, you got a bunch of the beginning of this pile is hold on, is the swan, or the Ace of Visions, and it's mirrored, which mirrors are a big twin sign. I guess I should talk about twin signs if the spirits are telling you to look for sights and signs of twin flames. So I would say seeing swans, mirrors, literal twins. Like I was at the airport, I think last year, and I saw twins on the plane, in the waiting room. I kept seeing twins, and I think, yeah, as I was on TV, it was like this 1 week period, and you just think of it in like it will come up in like small periods of time. It's not gonna be like 6 months later you remember you saw a twin, but like it will just, synchronicities and like repetitions will pop up for you. So seeing literal twins, and then the Ace of Cups is, you know, this king giving you a cup. Your cup is here and you want to take it. Then we have the 3 of Boons, which is the 3 of Coin, 3 of Pentacles. The Council of Animals. Oh, I was like, you got Judgment and Justice. It's just like, I really feel like you are in some sort of like law or like social work or something where you have to be logical and you also work with people, and deal with their emotions, and you always had to have this coldness about you to deal with like the hard emotional issues. And now that someone's offering you love and like a warm cup, something to warm you, you're like, what is that? I don't know. 3 of spells, so we got 2 3s too, and the 10 of spells, which is the 10 of wands, which is about a burden, about these are princesses who just came back from like a long night of dancing. And they're kind of sad, but they have to go back. You got to go back to work, and you have that feeling. You're like, you'll have a weekend of just like thinking about this King of Cups, and like, you know, feeling like a little girl, and you feel, or you know, little kid in love, and it makes you feel silly. And then Monday morning you're like, I have to go back to work. I have to go back to my badass lawyer job, and or whatever job that I have. I have to keep my mind level-headed. I can't just be dancing my life away. 3 of spells. This is a witch in the forest who's given out her 3 wishes into the water, and I think that you're starting to understand magic and spiritual things, spiritual happenings, finding signs. And it's like this guy, or your counterpart is really opening your eyes to things, and you're ashamed to acknowledge it, but you're secretly letting those wishes, and your counterpart is in these wishes, is at least one of these wishes, and that maybe one of your wishes to be with your counterpart and to figure balancing your life, balancing that out. And then we have the Council of Animals, which is the Judgment card, which Judgment is heeding the call, and this Council of Animals is kind of giving you a review of what you've done so far on your journey. And I think in this situation, they're guiding you. They're not here to judge you and being like, you're not doing this right, because you've gone through that already. It's more like, hey, now we're here to guide you now that you've been so successful as a lawyer. I keep saying lawyer, you don't have to be a lawyer, but you're so successful right now, but in your love life, you've gone so cold and lost your way, and we want to help you. And so I think that's why that bird started screeching, because the animal world is here to help you. And I think because you're so logical, and your logic has brought you so much success, you feel safe in that world, but you need to go out into nature and just recognize when animals are trying to give you messages. And that probably sounds really weird to you, but that's what your world is going into. If you're going to continue this twin flame journey, things are going to get a little freaky, but in a good way. So, cool. I think that was all of them. Yeah. Okay, so let's get some divination blocks, and we'll call it a wrap. So we have the hammer. I was like, again, it was like giving me that like judge, hammer and gavel. But this could also just mean you're a really hard worker, and you're working really hard on like what you've created. But now I think it's time to work on your relationships. Then we have H, that's significant new, and A, ha ha ha. Maybe I'm getting ha or jaw, which is also laughing, jaw. And jaw is also higher power. Or these can have some significance for you. And then we have a 6 or a 9. Take it whichever way you want. But yeah, just bringing in, I feel like you're such a hardworking, badass lawyer, and you need to take a break. Like, I'm getting that Kamala Harris, played by Maya Rudolph, like, she's having a drink on stage, and like, you need to let loose and be like that so you can open up and make people laugh, and like have the courage to talk to your counterpart and be like, hey, I actually do like you back, and This may totally be out of my badass lawyer persona, but I'm ready to open my heart. This lawyer is ready for her judgment on TBS. Okay, so we only got 3, but I got this. My husband was we were at the park, and he was on the phone with his parents, and I was sitting in this like pile of sticks. And then he brought this over and made this to me. So I feel like this is like a little gift. Like it's like that King of Cups, your counterpart, is like giving you a little offer of nature and being like, hey, if you really want to go through this connection, get in touch with nature and you will get closer to me and figure yourself out and accept those gifts that your counterpart is giving to you, and just kind of open your heart slowly. You don't have to, you don't have to rush. You don't have to be this girl. You can still be your fierce self, and you can just slowly be like, thank you. And then say something, give something back, like a compliment. Like, I really like what you posted on social media the other day. I don't know. You figure it out. You're a lawyer. L for lawyer or love. I'm sorry if you're not a lawyer, but maybe there's like lawyer characteristics in you, and you like seeking the truth, and you like defending people, and sticking up for those you love. Like, those are like good lawyer characteristics. An X and an I. So that is all I have for you, pile 3. I hope you have a good day, night, or evening, or whatever. I don't know how to end these videos yet. But yeah, and just be your badass self. Keep doing that. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.